going to take a second to talk to you about underdogs.
Everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, really time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. It's a sad day in Philadelphia, y'all. It is a sad day in Philadelphia. First of all, my OBS is bugging out again. I see the comments at least. At least I see the comments. That's a good thing, I guess. But either way, I don't know how many people are in here. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. We lost a good one today, y'all. We lost a very good one, man. Brandon Brooks has announced his retirement. 3-time Pro Bowler, I believe. 3-time All-Pro, I believe. And obviously a Super Bowl champion, man. You know, whatever you want to say, whether it be mental health or his physical health, I know that he missed a lot of games over these past couple years. But when on the field, he was a premier athlete, premier guard for us. One of the better guards that we've had in our history, realistically. So, you know, it sucks to see him leave, even though you already know, we already kind of knew that this was coming. I was saying for a while now that he was probably going to be retiring, and that, you know, people were telling me that. I didn't want to believe it. I'm not going to lie. So I knew about like a couple weeks ago, and I'm still kind of like, I can't believe it's happening. But had a great career. I wish it wasn't ending like this. I wish it was ending on his own terms. Obviously, you never want to see an athlete go out like this. But, you know, I think he is leaving on his own terms. He seems happy. He seems okay with it. And that's all you can really ask about. But we are getting a lot of money. We are getting a lot of money from this move. So it's something to be excited about as an Eagles fan. Right now, I think we're around $24 million in cap space. So I'm not sure if that is including the deal that he just restructured and how we saved $12 million. I know we save money down the road as well. So it's a big chunk of money coming off of our books, but it's a good player coming off of our roster. So it's a double-edged sword. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of like impromptu. I just kind of, you know, wanted to come in here, see what was the temperature, how y'all felt about this move. You know what I'm saying? It sucks to lose somebody like him. Now we're waiting for Jason Kelce to come on and tell us what he's about to do. Obviously, rest in peace Kobe as well. 2 years ago we lost him as well. So, you know, that it's a dark day, man. It's a dark day. But what's going on, Jinx? What's going on, Chaos? Real sad today, bro. Yeah, it's crazy. 2 years ago, we lost a legend and his daughter. Big facts, man. Rest in peace to Kobe and his daughter. Brandon Brooks, a hero in my book. Brandon Brooks, yeah, he played well. When he was out there, I've always said it. When he was out there, he was one of the better players at his position in the NFL. So it stinks to see a guy go, but at the same time, we knew this was going to happen. So what's going on, Jamal? He said I actually had hope for his return. I kind of did too. I thought he was going to come. Every time he came back, I felt like he was better than the last time, right? Getting the All-Pro honors after like tearing his Achilles and stuff. So like I always felt like he came back better than the last time. So I thought that the fairy tale was going to continue, but at some point, I know that your body just says, you know, your body tells you what time it is. And you know, kudos to him for listening to it, to be honest, because some people just push it a little bit too long, and, you know, they have, you know, reoccurring issues from that. So, you know, hopefully he can go on. He said he wants to apply for business school at Penn. He said he's going to stay around Philly. So if you live in Philly, you'll probably be seeing his big self around me. He's hard to miss. So that's dope, man. I'm glad that he found a home out here, and I'm glad we were able to help him through his career because, you know, in Houston, they kind of threw him out, and I mean, I don't want to say throw him out, but they gave him a new shot out here, and we were able to get the best out of him, you know, so good for him. I really have I'm not upset at this at all. It is what it is, you know. It sucks, and obviously that's one of those guys that went out there and really fought for you, so you don't want to see him go, but at the same time, it's like, you know, we get it. I get it. At some point, it's over for everybody, so God bless him, man. What's going on, Eagle Slayer? At least we saved a lot of caps. Exactly. We saved a lot of money. We saved a lot of money. Convert Truly, what's going on? He says, I'll let Brandon Brooks have his nice retirement day before I start talking crap about him. I really ain't got too much to say. I mean, look, you know, you can't really predict health. You can't predict mental health. You know, it is what it is. It stinks that he was going through that, but at the same time, I felt like when he was on the field, he gave us everything he had. And now that he is retired, I still feel like I was hoping, I forget who it was that asked him, but they asked him if he still had plans about being around football. And I would have loved to see him like come back in some coaching type of capacity. But, you know, he obviously said the whole thing about Penn. He didn't really seem too gung-ho on coming back to football as far as like a coaching status or a job-wise. So, you know, and that's fine. I'm not saying he has to, but I'm sure he's still going to be one of those guys that's open to getting calls from some of these younger guys. I'm sure Landon Dickerson can call him. He shouted out Jalen Reagor. So, I mean, I know he has a lot of friends on this team. So I'm sure he's just a call away if people have, you know, questions about whether it just be, you know, bouncing stuff off of a veteran mind, whether it's this offensive line, maybe working with him in the off season. I'm sure he wouldn't be against any of that or him just giving them advice. So it's a win-win, I guess. You know, we get the cap space. He gets to, you know, go live his life, and we still get kind of a guy that doesn't mind being, you know, an alumni. You know, that's a good thing. And we have a great young O-line players. We must keep Jeff Stoutland at all costs. Yeah, Jeff Stoutland can't go nowhere. Jeff Stoutland cannot go anywhere. You know, obviously, Brandon Brooks was asked a couple times about Jeff Stoutland, had nothing but great things to say. So, I mean, it is what it is, you know? Like, we all know how amazing he is. What's going on, Ryan Rowe? What's going on? Much respect for Brooks. He's retired and saves us a cap space. He didn't have to. It's true. That's facts, Unspoken. What's going on, Unspoken Words? That's a fact. He didn't have to, you know, change his contract up. I was kind of hoping that he was like that cool with us, that he was like, listen, I'll play on a non-guaranteed contract this year because, you know what I'm saying? But obviously, looking back, that was kind of a pipe dream. But it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. He definitely didn't have to do that. I'm just gonna, if he says some crazy stuff, I gotta chill. I'm upset we didn't trade Brooks for something. It is what it is. We can't really, you know, he had no value, I think. And it comes down to his own mentality. And I said this before, I thought that he would just retire before you try to trade him, or before he would let you trade him, because you even heard him say it in the conference, in the press conference, that this was his home. You know what I'm saying? This was his home. This was the place that helped him through all his bad times, all his dark times, as he called it. And, you know, so I didn't see him wanting to go like to the Browns or something. Like, you know, like why put yourself through that stress? So I get it, you know. What's going on, Jamie? What's going on? What's going on, Wilts? Yeah, you got to have respect for the Super Bowl legend, man. Yeah, you got to have love for him. You got to have love for him. I understand being upset. You know, it is what it is. It's a weird thing because it's like we knew it was going to happen, right? We knew it was going to happen, but at the same time, it's like we've seen him come back so many times from injury. It just didn't feel like this time would be any different, right? We felt, for me at least, I don't want to say we. For me, it felt like, you know, I don't really expect this guy to I don't want to say give up, but I don't really expect this guy to retire or not be able to come back from injury because he's done it so many times. So, but like I said, at some point, your body tells you it's time, and his did. So congratulations to him. Not congratulations. That sounds kind of demeaning, but, you know, shout out to him for being able to at least recognize that and not putting his body through and his mental health through any more stress than necessary. What's going on, Shugma Ball? I can't even say it. I ain't even gonna say it. Damn, I ain't even gonna say it. You almost got me though. Damn, I missed the whole 11 a.m. conference. What else was said? I mean, he was just, you know, thanking the city. Like, he said he's gonna stay in Philly. Like, he was going through some of his, you know, favorite times, and I would definitely watch it back. Like, it was really good. It was emotional. I'll tell you that much. It was definitely emotional. Shout out to all the Philly reporters, man, because I know we give them a lot of crap, but, man, they were on point. They were asking some great questions. So, you know, it was good. It was really good. If number 62 retires, I'm crying. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Look, we knew Brandon was going to retire when he got injured this season. Yeah, we knew, but it still hurts. You know what I'm saying? It's like ripping a Band-Aid off finally. It still hurts. I'd rather have this than the bodyguard who kept the. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you, Riff. I can't even disagree there. Like, I appreciate him understanding and recognizing when it's time for him to just move on, and in the process, giving us, you know what I'm saying, giving us a way out, you know, financially, especially. So, yeah, I have nothing but love for this dude, man. What's going on, Show Nuff? He says, now that Brooks has retired, I wonder how much does this change our draft, at least early, maybe. You know, it's funny. I talked about that. I was talking about that to some of my peoples, and you know, I think they were right, because I think we always knew we were going to go offensive line. Maybe this opens it up that you don't really mind getting a guard, but I like Driscoll, and I think that if you really look at it, I don't mind getting an offensive lineman, but I don't think you have to go early on it. And the only reason why I say that is because if you were worried about the center position, if Jason Kelsey moves on, you have Landon Dickerson, Isaac Seumalo, Nate Herbig, all three of those guys I feel comfortable moving to the center position. And then on the left guard position, obviously it would be fighting between whoever's left, and I feel comfortable with that. So, and then you look at the right guard position, I feel comfortable with Jack Driscoll. So do you want to bring in depth? I think so, but I think you let these young guys rock out. I think these young guys have proven enough that they deserve at least a chance. So, I mean, last year we didn't have Brandon Brooks all year and we got by. And we were one of the better offensive lines. So, I'm not looking to really change that much. I think that you have a very good young core of offensive linemen. I don't know if you add a top-tier talent to that and just push someone down automatically. Let's see what we have. One time, no, let's restructure Darius and get some more cap space. I mean, we just restructured Darius. That's why his number's so high. So I don't know if he's willing to do that again. Maybe extend him. That's probably more of a likely scenario. You extend him a couple years and you bring that number down this year. I've heard that be, you know, thrown out and volleyed as kind of a option with him. We're currently sitting at $27.8 million in cap space. Okay. Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, man. The Eagles can do whatever they want in free agency, realistically, and it's not going to hurt them next year. You just got to be understanding of who you're trying to bring back as far as your you know, key young players goes. Who are you going to bring back? Miles, is that going to be a big contract? You know, you got to kind of understand that as well when you're going into this free agency, because that's right around the corner. So, but at the same time, I mean, hey, make some noise, man. Fine Wine Fletch says, one time for Brandon Brooks, I have nothing negative to say about him. Nobody can control injuries. Ultimately, he's a Super Bowl champion. I respect that. I got nothing but respect for that. I feel bad for us ranting on his injuries. It is what it is. I think he knew what time it was. Like, you know, I think if he watched this, he would be like, you know, it is. I think he would respect our honesty. I think he respects our point of view in the sense of he knows that we're a tough team, fan base wise and city wise to deal with, because we really care about our team. And I think that players that care about football and care about who they are and how they're perceived respect that more than players that just want to be loved. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wanted to earn our respect, and I think that's what makes him different from other players, and that's why it takes something different to come to Philly and play, to be honest, and to be a great. What's going on, T-Well? What's goody, Joe Castro? I'm going to listen to his interview. I just got the news from you. Oh yeah, you already know. I got you, bro. You know, I got you. Honestly, this morning so I've been saying for a while, like if you guys watch the channel, you know me, and I don't like being one of those guys like my sources say, but like a couple of weeks ago, I was being told that he's going to retire and to just get ready. I even tweeted it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, people are telling me to get ready for life after Brandon Brooks. It seemed like it was something that Eagles knew and that the brass knew that this was coming. It was just a matter of when and how to work out the language of the contract. Stinks, but, you know, I think that, like we said, we all knew this was coming, you know? He's another that's not going to have to pay for another meal in Philly or a beer. He's good for life. My mental health all over the place. I feel you, man. I feel you. Draft only changes if Kelsey retires. I don't even think it changes if Kelsey retires. I think that you have solid options. Who steps up for Brandon Brooks now? Herbig or draft pick like Conwu? I don't think Conwu will fall to us, to be honest. or Jamari Saylor from Georgia. I would have to look him up a little bit more, to be honest. I don't know too much about him. I don't think a Conwu would really fall to us. I mean, maybe a Linderbaum. Maybe I've seen, what's his name? Dang, I'm really forgetting his name. Kenyon Martin, I think is his name. Kenyon Green, excuse me. I'm thinking of a old Nets player. Look at that. But no, yeah, Kenyon Green, I think from Michigan, is a guy I've been seeing, linked to us as well. But I don't think you need to. I don't really think you need to. I like what we have. Second or third should be the earliest for our O-line. I tend to agree there. I agree we don't need an O-line early round. I really don't think. I like our O-line. Stoutland has proved that you can put anyone in there and they will be at least their best. But yeah, and I mean, look, their best version. I agree. And even, beyond Stoutland, we've proven that we can draft good offensive and defensive linemen. We have proven that we're going to draft outside of like Marcus Smith. I will throw that name out there. But, outside of Marcus Smith, we have proven that we can draft well in the trenches. So I don't really get too nervous about that. We'll see what happens this year, obviously. Show Enough says, I agree with you, Philly, but we know how Howie is in the draft when it comes to O-linemen. Yeah, that's a fact. He pulls the trigger for O-linemen over the skill positions. I like what we have as well, just add depth. I agree with all that. Wilt says, I was almost a fan that broke the TV when Brooks got hurt week 2. I feel you, man. I feel you. Brooks is a beast, man. But, and I'm not saying this to, like, talk junk or nothing like that, but we played very well without him. Like, we did. I felt like, and I was saying this throughout the year, I felt like we understood that now our offensive line is ready to make that move. And I even said it throughout the year. I was ready to move on from Brandon Brooks. I might be even ready to move on from Lane Johnson pretty soon. Like, we'll see what happens. If we can take an off season and talk to, I don't really want to move Jordan Mailata from left tackle, but if we could talk to Andre Dillon and be like, listen, man, you can save your career. I hate to say it like that, and move to right tackle. Take a season and get there. You know what I'm saying? And just figure it out, because he has talent. He has talent. There's no way you're not telling me he has talent. When he had to fill in, for left tackle when Jason Peters was out there, he played well. When he had to fill in for Jordan Mailata at left tackle, he played well. He obviously didn't play that well at right tackle. If we can figure out a role for him, I think he's a very good talent. We just have to figure out what he can do. Kenyon Martin, yeah, my bad, TF. Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking about basketball right now. I don't know why I have to think about basketball. We really don't need to draft a center like at all. I don't think we do. Stoutland definitely a GOAT. He definitely a GOAT. Real talk, are we finally draft a good linebacker early like sheesh? I doubt it, Big Moose. I'm not going to get your hopes up. I am not going to get your hopes up. I highly doubt it. But, I mean, this might be the year that things change. You never know. I would have never thought that we would have ran to the capacity that we did. If you told me that we became like the top 5 running team because, our running backs did very good, then that's one thing, and we're doing a nice little, how do I say it? Like a nice little rotation of our running backs. I might believe that, but to say that we're out here running it 40 plus, times in some of these games to hit almost 200 yards in consecutive games, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. So who knows? Maybe the philosophy's changing. Maybe the Eagles brass, maybe, the front office and Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, maybe they're starting to kind of just back off and say, we trust these guys. We like these guys. We think they know what they're doing. So maybe that's what it took. Maybe it takes a guy that actually gets along with, Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie. Maybe Doug wasn't that guy. Angel says more cap space. Yeah, and it's like, what are you going to do with it now? What are you going to do with it now? Do you go out there and trade for somebody that has some good, that's on a decent contract, like maybe because Allen Robinson, I believe, is still under contract. You would have to trade for him. Do you go give a nice contract to a guy like Chris Godwin? Do you go give a nice contract to a guy like Mike Williams? Like, the one thing that people need to understand is unless you can wait, and that's what we've been really good at, is waiting till the end and getting those good contracts, getting good deals on, slightly older players or kind of mid-tier players like those 27 to 28 guys that, are just coming off their second contract, didn't really live up to it, but seem to be coming into their prime. Now it seems like they're more so trying to get those guys that people aren't big on that their coaching staff knows. You know, you look at it, Anthony Harris, you look at it, Eric Wilson. These are guys that people, as far as the NFL, weren't big on, so you were able to get them at cheap contracts, but you felt like the coaching staff that you had in place knew how to utilize them in this team. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Things could be changing. Doug was never that guy. I've been saying that since 2018. Hey, is Dillard a free agent? Dillard's not a free agent until next year, I believe. And then I think we have a 5th-year option on him if they decide to use it. And that's the thing. If he can find a role on this team, it doesn't have to be left tackle, right? Like, Lane Johnson was drafted as a left tackle, and I know it was a little bit different because they had all intentions of moving him to right tackle, never really thought of him playing at left tackle. But why not? Why not figure out if he can play guard? Why not figure out if he can play tackle? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to give up on talent, especially in the trenches, man. It just doesn't make sense to me. I would just draft a guy. I mean, the Chiefs never stop drafting receivers. Facts. Bucks never stop drafting receivers. Seahawks as well. Don't forget the Steelers. Yeah, Steelers draft a receiver every week. Like, they draft, they crazy. They have a new receiver in that building every other week. I mean, there's a lot of wide receivers in this draft, and I think that they're all really good. I think they're all really good, but I don't think anybody's like transcendent. Like, I've seen Chris Olave go, early in some mock drafts. I've seen Trayvon Grimes, or whatever his name, but I can't. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name right now because I have Trayvon Grimes in my head. I don't think that's his name though. Which one was our old wide receiver? I don't have enough coffee in me. Either way, I've seen a lot of different wide receivers going early in a lot of different drafts. So I don't think that there's anybody that really stands out to me. I think you go in the 2nd, 3rd round, you're still going to get a very solid wide receiver with high upside and a big body guy. There's a lot of big body guys in this draft. So I don't know. I'm not one to really think that we need to go wide receiver this year. I think that you've done that. I think this is a draft. This is a defensive draft or bust. If you can't get you need one player at almost every layer. Like, I can't think of one player on this team that you can say we can build this defense around. Before the season I asked that, and some people were saying maybe a Josh Sweat. And that was really about it. You know what I'm saying? That was really about it. Like, so realistically, who do we have? We have nobody that we can really build this defense around. And Josh Sweat he was underwhelming this year, if we're being honest. Maybe a Javon Hargrave, but he's getting older. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting any younger anytime soon. Obviously Fletcher Cox is aging. So we have to figure out the youth front of this defense. We have to get a guy on every level. So that's why I'm big on getting a defensive end. I'm big on getting a linebacker, and I'm big on getting somebody in that secondary. So we'll see what happens, though. I really do believe that we are changing. I really do hope, at least, that we are changing, because there's no way we can go into this draft with the same thought process that we had for the last couple of drafts, which is like, we know what we're doing. Let's just go get random guys. Like, we have to go into this draft with an actual vision. We have to go into this draft saying we are looking at the best defensive players we can get, and these are the 2 spots on offense that we would take. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead, I know a lot of people say best player available, but you get caught in some really weird and sticky situations when you go best player available sometimes. So you have to go into this with a solid plan. You have to let these young guys continue to grow. You have to let these, the veterans start seeing their way out the door. You have to find replacements for these guys. That's what I'm saying. These teams don't draft first round wide receivers. They get the mid to round. Yeah. Juju was like a 2nd round pick, I think, or was he a first? I hope the next big, and AB was like a 5th round pick. I hope the next big news is hearing that Gannon has expected a coaching job somewhere, eager to get a DC and OC in here. Well, I know he had a 2nd interview. I forget which team it was that he had the 2nd interview with. But I know he had a 2nd interview. I forget where it was. It wasn't Houston, was it? It wasn't Houston. I think he got ousted out of the Houston job. No, he got ousted out of the Broncos job. So I think it was Houston that he had a 2nd interview with. I don't really care. Like, honestly, like, if we get rid of him, I think we're just gonna promote somebody from within. AB was a 6. Look at that. I think if we get rid of him, we're just gonna get somebody from within. I don't think we're gonna really do anything different there. So I don't know. I hate to say it, but I don't really care. I don't really think that it's going to be a big difference. I think we're going to try and keep it pretty similar. He interviewed with the Vikings too. I mean, let him go. I really don't like. I really don't mind if he's gone or if he stays. Like, to me, I don't think the defense is going to change that much if he stays or if he goes, either way. Okay, so we're going to whine about more Rager not being good. I mean, we haven't yet. That's pretty good. I'll probably be coming back on a little bit later. I just wanted to come on and talk about my boy Brandon Brooks. Go on, man. My boy Brandon Brooks. Go on, man. My boy, go on. No, let me stop. It ain't that deep. But either way, I am going to come back on probably a little bit later on. I ain't got nothing to do today, so might as well, right? But either way, yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Brooks is gone. I'm going to probably make a video, maybe do it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I never know what I'm going to do. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It's Fly Eagles Fly, and we out here. Peace!
Everywhere. This is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles fly on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do 'em in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.